Just one day before their court hearing on March 7th, NewJeans' parents has released a statement that can only be described as a last-ditch effort to control the narrative. The statement is long, dramatic, and filled with accusations, yet it fails to provide any real substance. This is not the first time NewJeans or their parents have tried to shape public opinion in their favor, but the timing here is too perfect to ignore. Why release this now, right before a crucial legal battle? It's clear they're not speaking to the court, they're speaking to fans, hoping to stir up enough noise to pressure ADOR and hype. But the problem with this strategy is that legal contracts don't bend to public outrage, no matter how many emotional statements they publish. The statement itself, a mess. They claim they terminated their exclusive contract on November 29, 2024, as if that's something they could unilaterally decide. That's not how contracts work. If NewJeans' claims were valid, why is this even going to court? ADOR, as their management company, has every right to challenge their so-called termination, and instead of waiting for a legal resolution, NewJeans is running around acting like they're already independent artists. It's like quitting your job via email, then suing your boss for not immediately agreeing with you. They keep pushing this narrative that ADOR is the one being unreasonable. But from any logical standpoint, ADOR is simply enforcing the contract that NewJeans signed. The entitlement here is wild. One of the most frustrating aspects of this whole mess, how NewJeans continues to make bold claims about mistreatment and contractual breaches without ever providing proof. They say ADOR did not fulfill their obligations and that hype tried to damage their value by making negative comments to reporters. Okay, then where's the evidence? If there were serious breaches of contract, why not list them clearly? If hype was really trying to ruin their reputation, why hasn't a single concrete example been provided? These aren't small accusations, they're the kind that could damage a company's credibility if proven true. But instead of offering facts, NewJeans relies on vague, dramatic wording to make themselves seem like victims. It's almost as if they know they don't have a strong legal case, so they're resorting to playing on emotions instead. One of the most laughable parts of this statement is NewJeans and their parents' claim that ADOR is trying to violate their freedom of occupation. This is such a misleading argument that it's hard to take seriously. No one is saying they can't make music. The issue is that they are still under contract with ADOR, and they're trying to act like they're free agents. Imagine signing an employment contract, then deciding you don't want to follow the terms anymore. And instead of negotiating an exit, you just walk away and blame your employer for holding you accountable. That's exactly what NewJeans is doing. If they really wanted out, they could have approached this professionally, negotiated a buyout, worked towards an amicable separation, or at the very least, waited for the court ruling before jumping into independent activities. But instead, they're taking an all-or-nothing approach, trying to force ADOR into a corner by making public statements and hoping fans will take their side. The reality is, the court is going to look at the actual contract, not emotional pleas. And if NewJeans doesn't have the legal grounds to walk away, no amount of PR spin will change that. NewJeans is portraying themselves as victims of one-sided harassment, yet they are the ones who initiated this legal battle. They are the ones who decided to walk away from their company without legal confirmation that they could do so. They are the ones who have spent months making accusations and trying to turn fans against ADOR. And yet, they want us to believe that ADOR is the one targeting them? This is classic victim complex behavior, painting themselves as innocent artists just trying to work while ignoring the fact that they are the ones causing all this chaos in the first place. What makes this even more ridiculous is that NewJeans is still operating under the belief that public opinion can save them. Maybe they think that if enough fans rally behind them, hype will back down. But this isn't a popularity contest. It's a legal dispute. No matter how many statements they release, they still have to answer to the court. And right now, all their actions suggest that they're scared of what that ruling might be. Hours after NewJeans' parents dropped their statement, one that conveniently arrived right before their court hearing, ADOR wasted no time firing back with a response of their own. And honestly, this was the kind of response that needed to happen. While they have been throwing out allegations left and right, ADOR is standing firm in what they've been saying from the start. These girls are still under contract, and their sudden attempt to break free isn't as clean-cut as they want fans to believe. One of the biggest claims from NewJeans' side is that ADOR is retaliating against them by expanding the scope of their injunction, allegedly in response to Bang Si-hyuk's reported attempt to cancel their Hong Kong complex concert. But ADOR shut that down immediately, stating outright that they never pressured any concert organizers and that their actions have nothing to do with revenge. Instead, they're maintaining their position. If NewJeans is still contractually bound to ADOR, then the label has every right to enforce that contract. NewJeans' parents seem to be throwing out accusations without solid proof, and ADOR's measured response, especially with the court date looming, shows they're keeping things legally airtight rather than engaging in a messy public back and forth. This is where things get tricky. ADOR admitted they expanded the scope of their injunction request because NewJeans was going ahead with music releases and overseas performances while the legal battle was still ongoing. To put it simply, NewJeans is acting like their contract is already void, while ADOR is saying, "Not so fast." NewJeans' parents spun this as ADOR trying to block the girls from working, but in reality, it seems more like ADOR is trying to stop them from running off and building a career outside of their legal obligations. If they are still under contract, then ADOR is within their rights to enforce it. This isn't about preventing NewJeans from working, it's about making sure they do so under the terms they originally signed. At this point, it's hard to ignore that this legal battle has escalated far beyond a simple contract dispute. What started as Manheejin versus Hype has now turned into NewJeans' parents versus ADOR, and it feels like the actual members are getting lost in the chaos. ADOR's response makes it clear that they still see NewJeans as their artists, and they want them to continue under their management. But NewJeans' side is pushing a completely different narrative, one where they're being silenced, manipulated, and now supposedly retaliated against. It's a classic case of he said, she said, but the difference is, one side has a legally binding contract, and the other side is desperately trying to run from it. Tomorrow, March 7th, is when this legal showdown really begins, and ADOR's response today feels like a final reminder before things get real. No more cryptic Instagram statements, no more anonymous insider leaks, just cold, hard facts in a courtroom. ADOR is pushing for a legal ruling that confirms they are still NewJeans' rightful agency, while NewJeans' parents are fighting to prove the contract was legally terminated months ago. At this point, it's beyond fandom wars and company politics. This is about who can back up their claims with real legal standing. If ADOR wins this injunction, NewJeans' entire independent movement crumbles instantly. If NewJeans somehow manages to prove their contract is void, then ADOR will take a serious hit. Either way, the next 24 hours are going to define the future of this entire messy saga. Buckle up.